Hello and welcome to what is my last video on the channel. Um, I'm just going to be explaining how I improved a lot in chess in last year and kind of a routine that I'm creating for myself for now to constantly improve in the future. And I think that you can improve a lot if you're a beginner to intermediate player to, let's say, like you're 1,000. I feel like this routine, if you stay consistent for like a year, I feel like you could probably get to around 1,700 to 1,800 on chess.com. Um, Basically, just using this method. And I'm gonna be starting off by saying that I use lead chess. I've been using lead chess for like the last like 6 months. I've had many accounts, but this is kind of the account I've been using for like the last month or so. And my first step is that I play one classical game a day, and I do like a kind of like a deeper analysis into that game. Let's say like you lose a game, I feel like it's very important to find mistakes and just kind of put it in your mind for next time, especially if you make mistakes in the opening, kind of fixing your opening. And I'm going to be showing you one of my classical tournament games. Um, my second step is that I'd recommend that you play in a classically rated tournament at least once a week. I know like many areas around the United States, and I'm assuming many parts of the world, they have chess kind of in most areas, and you can take part in most tournaments, like club tournaments in your area. So I kind of recommend doing that. And usually they play like once a week. Um, and if you play like one classical ready game a week, I think that's very good for your improvement. And then you look at the analysis, I think that's very good. So this is one of the games I played last week. I had white pieces, and my opponent had the black pieces. So I'm gonna be showing you how I thought through this game. So I play e4, he plays e5, and I go into the Vienna, which is what I learned. He plays this, and this is theory I've memorized here. So I don't think any of this is kind of relevant. Here I make a pretty poor mistake. Um, it's not very, it's not very obvious how this is a mistake, but I go here, and as you can see, like the engine kind of drops a bit. And the reason why it's so bad is because he has a lot of counterplay here. And let's say I castle, which is a bad mistake. He brings his queen out, and I'm getting totally screwed here. He has like mate threats, and then he's like just completely winning. And that was like what I was looking at, and that's like the part of the game that I was super mad at, frustrated at. That you should always be aware that like there may be threats. Like this looks like a fine opening, but no, like the knight jumping in that just kind of kills you. So I recommend like looking at like all the like the little details and mistakes that you make throughout the game, and kind of like fixing it in like your repertoire or your middle game to kind of think in your future games to not make that mistake again, which is very hard actually to kind of take the information you learn in one game that you make a mistake in and to apply it to the next game. And that's like one of the hardest things in chess, I feel like. That didn't happen. So now my thought process is Castle looks okay. I'm noticing that this bishop is a very powerful piece. So if I bring my knight here, he doesn't have actually any squares to keep this bishop alive. So I'm just going to get this bishop. That's his best piece. And he actually plays like a copycat variation where he goes here. And I took like a long think here, but I ultimately thought that this would looks pretty good if we just trade. And if I take here, he takes back and I take his queen. I really don't think that's good for me. Like I think that's pretty equal. So I didn't go for this. I wanted to keep the queens on the board because I thought I had an initiative. So I go back. I expected he went back, and now I play f4, which is kind of like kind of fighting back in the center um, as I'm trying to win this game. And f4, that's kind of opening. I want to open up the f file for my bishop and my rook potentially to kind of gang up on this knight and on the king to maybe checkmate in the future. So that's kind of my ideas. This is a very poor knight. His knight's very poor because I don't have like this outlet, which I normally do if the knight's on here. So he goes there, which I thought was pretty reasonable. And if he takes this knight, I have no issue with this. So I castle, which I thought was pretty good. He goes there, and now my thought process is this. I want to take the pawn here Um, I want to bring the rook. I want to bring the bishop here to apply a lot of pressure to this knight, and I also have this rook that applies pressure too. And then once he brings his knight here to defend this knight, then I actually want to take this knight here and kind of bring all my pieces into the attack. That's kind of what I'm thinking right now. That's just a general thought. And now I go for a pin, I think. Yeah. He brings back. And now my idea is I want to bring this knight into the game to go to this square and just cause a lot of pressure on this position. I think this is a very good square for this knight to go into. So that's what I'm thinking right now. And he plays h6, which I thought was very reasonable. And I thought after takes here, here, I thought this was a very good position. And I try to then I would try to bring my pieces into the attack. Probably go something like this here, here. If I have a bunch of moves, but that's obviously not realistic. But that's kind of what I'm thinking. I want to bring all my pieces into the attack and attack the king side fast. So I go for take, and as you can see, it's completely equal. But I think I have a lot of initiative, which is why I think I kind of pressured the opponent. Why is it not making a move? Okay, f5. He takes, which I'm happy to see. I take here, and now he goes here. What was I thinking right now? What's the next move? Okay, so I'm just bringing my pieces to the attack. I want to bring my rook here next. He goes there to, I think, just protect this pawn. And now I go here. The reason why I go here is because he's actually threatening to trap my rook. So I'll show you what I mean. Let's say I go here. Let's say I go here, he just traps my rook. Oh, wait. Oh, I guess I could go here, but that kind of looks a bit weird. So I thought I just was getting traps, but I wasn't. I went here just to apply more pressure. He goes there, which I thought was a great move for him. I was kind of worried about this check here, and then he picks up my pawn. So let's say, like, let's say, he gets another move. I have to go here. I have to go here. He goes here, here, and then he picks up a pawn. So I don't want to allow this. So in this position, I move my king, which I thought was pretty reasonable. He goes here, and now I bring my knight into the game. I'm trying to go to this square, and here, or something like that. He goes there, which I thought was pretty good defensive resource. Probably to go here, which I didn't think was an issue. I go here to continue my plan. He goes there, attacking my queen. And now I kind of go here. I do go here, sorry. Yeah, I'm just trying to... The purpose of this move is to just apply more pressure still. He goes there, which I thought was pretty reasonable. I bring here just because I think that's pretty reasonable too. Takes completely equal game, and this is move 24. Yeah, I don't have any advantage at all. I don't have any advantage at all, and now he plays an aggressive move here, which I'm fine with. I go here. He goes there, kind of kicking my king out. And this is where I made a pretty bad mistake. I wasn't aware of this resource. So let's turn off the engine. I'll show you what I mean. I go here. And let's say he still has to defend his... Let's say he takes. Which isn't good because I simply pick up this pawn. So let's say he plays a different move. Let's say he brings his queen here just to defending this knight. And I have this pretty good tactic, which isn't too complicated, which is going here, takes, and I fork. Here, 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 and I'm simply out of danger. Or I could go here even. Or here, yeah. Anyways, I'm just out of danger, as you can see from the bar. So that's what I missed. I'm pretty mad that I missed this. I should have thought much harder. In this game, I could have considered this move, to be honest. but I'm just kind of telling you my general thoughts. I go here. Wait. I go here to attack this pawn. I wasn't aware of this resource where I just have takes, takes, and then fork. I wasn't aware of that resource right now. He goes here, and now I win a piece by force because now I'm aware of this tactic where I go here, wherever the queen moves to defend, then I just take here and fork. So now I'm just winning the piece and winning the game ultimately. No, this didn't happen. He resigned here. And yeah, so that's just kind of my thought process in this game. So I'd recommend playing at least like one classically rated tournament game a week and analyzing that game, along with playing like a classical game on Lead Chess or like a 15-minute game on chess.com with the 10-second increments, and just analyzing that game. I think one game a day is enough when you're not playing like a classical game. I think that's very good. So let's say like you play a 30-minute game on Lead Chess. I'm writing this down. Plus analysis for 10 minutes. That's going to be, I would say 45 minutes to an hour and 10 minutes because there's 30 minutes each side. So that's, yeah, it is timely. So that's a concern for most people. Just most people don't have too much time. On top of this, I would recommend going to a website called Chess Tactics, or if you have a like tactics books called like, I'd recommend like Woodpecker's Method for sure, or anything by Arthur Yusopov, which is like building up your chess. I'd probably recommend about like 15 minutes of tactics a day, or like 10 minutes, 15 to 10 minutes. I think that's very beneficial. And yeah, I'm just gonna be showing you what I'm going to be showing you what chess tempo is in a second. And yeah. Okay. For my third step, I would recommend, this is pretty big. I think I covered the two most important parts. Playing longer formatted games online and in person and going over the analysis for that. And really walking through your thought process. And I don't think you need a coach until like you're like 2000 or something. Honestly, I don't think you need a coach for that. I'm like 2100 on classical rated League chess, and I beat players that are like 16 to 1700 like FIDE, so that's like pretty impressive I think for me, since I was 1200 on chess.com last year. And then I recommend having an opening repertoire for white and black, and the most important thing for those repertoires is actually understanding your position and not like the memorization. Like understand like the position and how to play it. I think that's the most important thing. And that's for openings. If you don't know your end games, I would probably study that before you do any tactics, like basic end games, how to checkmate with a rook, opposition, like stuff like that. Like just go over your end game techniques. Like have like a pretty decent fundamental background with that. Before you do any tactics. And then once you have like a decent like understanding of end games and stuff like that, and just like just once you have like basic general ideas, then I recommend going to tactics, which is like pins, skewers, stuff like that. And I'd recommend any book. Again, like this is a great book. Very good for visualization, calculation. 10 to 15 minutes is what I'd recommend if you're doing the longer formatted online game and the analysis. And then overall, this is going to be around a 55-minute to hour 25 per day. But if you're playing like the classical game, that could be like 4 hours. So you're doing a lot of chess. So if you do like 125, which is what you're going to be doing like most days, I think that's pretty benefit. I think that's like a sufficient amount of time. Even 55 minutes, that's a great amount of time. And also like, I'd say like if you want to take a break after your classical game, like in person, I'd recommend like kind of like doing like chess 960 to kind of test your creativity, probably like once a week if I would to recommend. But this is just my recommendation. I'm not that good at chess. I've just improved a lot in the recent time. So now I'm going to be showing you my tactics on chess tempo. Alright, this is a website called Chess Tempo, and this is where I do the majority of my tactics right now. And I probably spend about like 15 minutes a day on this, along with what I said prior to this. And I'm going to be explaining my thought process through a tactic puzzle. So what you do to get to tactic puzzles is you make a chess tempo. I'll leave the website in the description, plus the routine in general. So you go to chess tempo, you make a routine, you click on training, and you press chess tactics. So I'm white in this situation. I'm around like 1600 on puzzles right now. So I'm just trying to improve that day by day. I've been improving a lot, to be honest, recently. But I'm going to be showing you my thought process and how I approach a puzzle. So I'm the white pieces. First, I kind of count the material. So he has 2 pieces, 3 pieces. I have 3 pieces. Queen, queen. So it looks pretty equal on like material. And now I kind of look for any weaknesses he has or any like threats he has. I'm not seeing a lot of threats for him. Okay. Okay, this is kind of a hard puzzle, to be honest. I'm gonna try to work through this as I talk out loud. I see this knight's on the corner of the board, so I was considering a move like this. He goes here. This here. I'm not really seeing too many follow-ups here. I mean, this doesn't work. So now I'm kind of considering if I bring my rook into the game and go here to attack this piece. Okay, this is kind of difficult. This is actually very difficult for me. I'm not sure what I'm exactly looking at here. I'm trying to make this bishop go away. So here, 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 here. Okay, this is actually incredibly difficult for me. But you kind of get the idea of what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to like kind of create some advantage. So here, do I get my queen involved? So after this. Okay, this is actually incredibly difficult for me. Here, here. I don't see any like clear, concrete moves that I could play immediately. Anyways, this is sorry, I couldn't solve it right now. But anyways, I do this for like about like 15 minutes a day. I usually solve like 5 puzzles. I usually get it better than this, to be honest. I'm gonna try to solve it before I go for my last video. I'd recommend paying for the premium. I'm not paying right now, but I'd recommend it because you can look at like you can create opening repertoires and like you could look at master games and analyze that and guess the moves for that, which is what I'd recommend too if you have more time, of course. Okay, let me just try to Let me try to think harder. So rook moves in here. Okay, attacking. Queen here. Oh, I got it. Okay, I think I got it. So it's a I think this is works. So if my queen goes here, it's a double attack on this knight here and this piece. Yes, and sometimes it's like that where you just get it like all of a sudden. Let me just make sure this works. Yeah, I mean he can't protect. Okay, this works. What the fuck? So yeah, you don't want to make a mistake and go here, so allows this. So I think here looks good. All right, and that's how you complete a puzzle. So yeah, around 1600, like I said. And I'm gonna be going over the chess routine one more time. So it starts off with one classical or longer formatted rapid game. Go over the analysis. So you probably want to do this like 5 times a week. Chess 960 once a week. One tournament game in person once a week. And when you're playing online, I wouldn't recommend doing tactics on the day you have a tournament game, but on the normal days when you're just playing like rapid or classical on lead chess, I'd recommend like 15 minutes of a chess book and chess tempo working on tactics. Have openings for white and black, and that's pretty much it. I just think, yeah, just stay consistent and you'll see results. Consistency is the most important thing, and having like a passion. And overall, this routine will take around 55 minutes to an hour and 25 per day on the days you're not playing the classical tournament. So yeah, thanks for watching.